Alright, so I remember when they first announced that they were going to do a brown Wolverine, and I was instantly like, no, not the brown one, we want the blue one. And then I paused for a second and I go, you know what? It's MEZCO. MEZCO always comes in three. If they're making a brown one, they're making a blue one, and they're probably going to make a silver one, which they are, or the gray one, whatever you want to call them. But as soon as they showed an image of this, you guys were freaking out on Instagram going, dude, I can't believe the shorts. He's got the board shorts. Why are you guys ruining the brown Wolverine with those shorts? Give him the Speedo. And I was also doing the same thing, and I couldn't call my boy up quick enough to vent about what I had just saw, the tragedy of what they did to the brown Wolverine. And I also pointed out the shorts, and I was like, I hate the shorts too. And then I moved up a little bit and I saw those football player shoulder pads that look like turtle shells, like cut in half. And I was like, dude, come on. Why does he have turtle shells on his shoulders? And then I moved back down a little bit farther and I was like, why the hell does Wolverine have a utility belt? And if you're going to give him a utility belt, can you at least put a little X on there, like a little red X right in the middle? And I was like, of course you can't, because if you put an X on it, you can't reuse it. And then I went even down a little bit farther, and I was like, why do Wolverine's boots have laces on them? Why do they have buckles? Wolverine doesn't have buckles and laces. And then I was thinking, this is why they call it the MEZCO version. For they can do whatever they want to do, and we're going to buy it. And I'm going to stop complaining about it at least for the next 10 seconds. And then I might start complaining again. Because I love this thing. And I'm going to buy it no matter what. No matter how much of a MEZCO version they decide to sell me. I'm still going to buy it because I'm on the hook. You guys got me. I don't just buy it because I love the figure anymore. I buy it because I collect them. I have all of them. So to not have one, well, I don't have all of them. I missed that classic Punisher because you screwed us. It's like you screwed a lot of us on that yellow Wolverine. But either way, I was looking at this and I was going, it's actually a pretty good toy. You could have did a little bit more on the accessories on the last one. The yellow one, you gave us a mask, which was cool. But you still came a little short on the accessories. So I saw this one and I was like, oh great, you gave us Deadpool's sword, but you painted it red. And then after further inspection, I go, wait a second, it's not Deadpool's sword. They actually made a brand new sword, which is cool. Ties in with the comics, you got the mask, you got the sword, but still just a little bit more on Wolverine as far as accessory goes. I'm going to stop complaining at least till we get them open. Let's check them out. Alright, so here's this Wolverine standing at just a little bit above 6 inches tall. And if you go right next to him, which is probably the same exact figure that I pulled out on the blue and yellow Wolverine, he's also standing just a little bit above 6 inches tall. Now they call this line the 112 collective line. They call it that because it's on a 112 scale. So if on a 112 scale, my complaint on the last Wolverine was basically the only complaint I had was the size of Wolverine. And then half you guys comment back, go, no way, he's perfect. He's the perfect scale. Well, he's absolutely not the perfect scale. He's way too big. Because back in the day, before a lot of you guys were even born, they made comic books like this, and they still make some today. And if you read these things and you open these things up and you're like, God, okay, Captain America, let's see how big Captain America is. And if you go right here, you go height 6'2". And then you look at the action figure and you're like, okay, 112 scale, 6-inch figure. Yeah, he looks right about 6'2". And then I said Wolverine is way too tall because if you pick up a comic book like this, right back in the day, they made these things before most of you guys were even born. And then you decide to open it up because you're curious. You're like, how big should Wolverine really be? Well, let's look. 5'3". So if he's 5'3", if this is a 1/12 scale, I'm not real good at math, but I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to say that Wolverine should be a full inch shorter than Captain America. So when I say that he's out of scale, yes, folks, he is out of scale. He should be like this tall, not this tall. Other than that, he looks like a great figure. All right, first off, let's check out the accessories, or lack thereof accessories. He does come with 2 heads. If you didn't get the blue one, they're the exact same heads that you got on the blue one. Just, I don't even think they're repainted. But we'll check that out. I don't think they're repainted. Then he also comes with this one. He comes with the fisted hand. And he also comes with the fisted hand that can hold the sword, which I don't think mine's going to be holding the sword. Then he also comes with the claw hands, same claw hands as on the blue one, but like I said earlier, you might not have one. And then he has like some semi-grabbing hands. Now these hands to me would have been really cool claws. Like it, you know, Wolverine, mix it up. Don't give us the same shit you gave us on the last one. Put claws in these hands as well. It's Wolverine, like he's known for his claws. And then you have the sword, and I was like, God, the sword, it's the same sword we already have. But it's actually not. So here's the handle. You can see that they're totally different handles. Which, man, I thought for sure they would have reused that. And if they would have reused it, I would have been cool. I don't even think I would have complained. Then you open it up. It's a red sword. If you want to compare it with this other sword, like they're different sizes. They're different shapes. This one has grooves on it. So they're 2 totally different swords. So bravo to MEZCO for at least doing that and caring enough to give us a new sword. We'll go ahead and put it back in there. I would have liked to have displayed this thing. If they would have given me a hand with claws that could hold a sword, that I would definitely display the sword. But I just can't display Wolverine without his claws out. Like, I mean, it's Wolverine. You just have to. And then, like always, they give you the best stand in the business. I love these things. I pretty much use them every time. Even if I don't want to use them, I still use them just because I like the stand so much. Okay, so for comparisons, I went ahead and pulled out all the brown Wolverines that I have. I'm pretty sure I have all of them. I hope I have all of them. That would really suck to be missing it. So you have this one that came in the classic package. I don't really like that reddish brown. The mustard yellow, I do kind of like. Then you have the first one, which I really like that brown. But here's the thing, which I'm building into something. Just wait for it. And then you have this old one, which was cool because this one actually has an X on the belt. This one doesn't, because if it has an X, they can't reuse it. This one doesn't, same reason. And once again over here and over there. But thank God at least one of them has an X on the belt. And the thing with it is, when you're doing 3 Wolverines, I definitely want to display all 3 heads. Basically, this head's the same as that head up there. We'll get into that a little in a minute. But it's like, so this is definitely one that I would like to do unmasked. They didn't give us the unmasked head, which is cool, if you got the blue one. Because then you can put this unmasked head on there. But then you're like, an unmasked head, but now we don't have a hood. And then you're like, well, cool. I'll just take that hood off of that old Marvel Legends one and stick it on here, but then the brown doesn't match. You're like, God, this really sucks. But if you've been collecting longer than 2 years, you have this bad boy right here in your collection. And it sucks to steal a part off of them, but I just feel like I kind of have to. So you go ahead, you pop his head off, and now you have a brown mask, unmasked, because MEZCO, for some reason, they just can't give us just a little bit more accessories. The brown is real similar to the brown on these football shoulder pads, so you can heat this thing up a little bit with your heater or whatever, because the bend on it is a little too much. I've kind of already did that. Then if you were fortunate enough to get the blue one, you can stick this thing on here, and now voila, you have an unmasked brown Wolverine. If you didn't get the blue one, it doesn't really matter, because you probably want to display him with the mask on anyways. If I only had one Wolverine, it would definitely be one with the mask on. So there's the unmasked hood. Does it look perfect? No, but it looks okay. I think it looks better with the little hood deal than without it. I don't know. Yeah, it'd probably look good either way. Let's go ahead and check them out. All right, we'll do a side-by-side comparison with the blue one to the brown one. In case you could only get one, you didn't get the other, then you can kind of see the difference between the two. As far as the head goes, this is the same head sculpt. You can see that they are exactly the same color, same everything. Then if you go down to the chest, and this is what I really like about this toy, is that these outfits are completely different. I thought that they would be the same. They're not. Like this brown piece here is like kind of has their screen print on them. Definitely pretty cool. Then this one actually has like lines that are kind of like sculpted in or whatever that is that they put on there. It definitely looks cool. This one has the tiger stripes on the side. And this is where they really showed off a little bit because they didn't have to do this. They got like that textured rubber on the sides. And I don't make action figures, but you got the Frankenstein stitch on the back, which it kind of sucks on this particular figure. I mean, I think they did a good job. I just think, I was wondering, is there any way that they could have put that here and then covered it with that rubber thing, and then same on the tiger stripe, because then if you ever want to see the back of the figure, you don't have that weird Frankenstein stitch. And if you look at the shoulder pads, I kind of wish that they would have just used these over again, because these things, they just, I don't know, they just kind of, it just looks like an old football player or a turtle shell. It doesn't really look like a Wolverine shoulder pad to me. I'm getting over it. Like, I'm liking this figure more and more, and I'm kind of liking the differences more and more, but that is definitely a hard one to swallow. And then if you look at the utility belt, which is weird that he has a utility belt. Like this one, they went ahead and painted an X on there. I didn't really think that they did. I just realized that as I was doing the video. So I might have put my foot in my mouth earlier, but they did do an X here. I think it's just like a painted on X, so they could still actually reuse the belt. But it would have been nice if they would have painted on an X here. It just, I mean, it just says Wolverine. It says X-Men to me. I definitely like that. Then if you move down to the shorts, these things are different. They kind of have like a little area for like the black line there where the crotch goes. And then they have like that black kind of like edge around them. Definitely really nice. The pants are also different. These things have a little line on them. These things don't. The boots are exactly the same but a different color. You turn this thing around and they both have the old man butt. Yeah, go figure. And then back here, once again, you have these lines. This one doesn't. It's actually a different color yellow. Let me try to get the light. This is kind of like the more mustard yellow, and this is like kind of more the bright yellow. So there's the difference between the two. I actually really like both of these figures. I just wish that they were a little bit smaller, because if you look at these ones, these things are just slightly above 5 inches tall, and that's how tall Wolverine is actually supposed to be. As far as articulation, we'll go over it really quick. I'm pretty sure you already know how it goes. The head is on a ball. The neck also moves at the lower neck. Something I didn't even realize on these things, there's actually like a butterfly joint on the shoulders. So you can see that that does actually move there. And then the shoulders on a ball, this little shoulder pad deal, it has like a little articulated arm under it, which is definitely really cool. So you can move it pretty good. Then you do have the bicep swivel, which is mine is really tight for some reason. Hold on, there it goes. Broke it free. That works good. You have the double elbow, and I love that they don't put pins on their action figure. Like, that just looks so cool. I hate when they have that whole, like, I mean, even when the fabric doesn't cover it, I think it looks good. He has hairy arms. Let me see, does the other one? Yeah, the blue one also has exact hairy arms. So that's cool. The same ab crunch, everything. This one, it almost looks like they did a little bit better job, which I think they did a good job on the costume. This one actually looks a little bit tighter. You can kind of see his ribs or his chest, like kind of where right, well, that line, whatever this rib bone, whatever you want to call it. You can see that line a little bit better. You do have like an ab crunch, which I think that works pretty good. He does turn at the waist. You can only turn it so much because of the fabric. Then you come down here to the thighs. You kind of have a ball there. The swivel, it does whatever you want it to. Double knee, which, man, that just works so good in that fabric, which I definitely like that. Then at the boot, let me see if the top of the boot swivels. It actually doesn't. I was thinking maybe there would be a joint there, but there's not. The same hand is like on a ball, swivel, does whatever you want. Same thing that they've been doing forever. Nothing changed there. My favorite joint on this thing, or one of them, is that where they do it at the top of the boot, because the boot is plastic, that's fabric, that just works really well. As far as ankle pivot. You get a little bit, not much. It's enough for me, so I'm happy. Then you also have the hinge there. There's the articulation. Let me see, did we cover everything? Comparison, size, accessories. We're good. Just check out the collection. So now for the MEZCO collection, which, God, you guys have seen that a lot so far this year. And I think that you're going to see it a lot more because I just got a notification that I got one more in the mail. So probably another week or two and we'll be back at this shelf again. So here it is, the MEZCO collection. This line is definitely addicting. I definitely enjoy collecting it a lot, even though I complain a lot, but I spend a lot of money on this, so I kind of feel as if I have earned the right to complain. There's that Vespa. I went ahead and picked that up. I was going to review it, but I was like, who wants to see a review just of a Vespa? You can get that thing on like Amazon or eBay. I think it was like $25 shipped. 1/12 scale. Definitely looks cool with the Deadpool. Saw a few other guys with it, so I kind of felt the need like I needed one. There's my Brown Wolverine. I got him with Sabretooth, of course. I'm pretty sure that might be the Marvel Select one. So the scale is good. He actually looks pretty close to scale when he's next to that. There's the blue one. Now I got to get rid of these Teen Titans, put them someplace else. There's the collection. Thanks for watching.